Welcome to the Backyard Professor Chess videos. Hey, thank you for the correction the other night in my video toward the end when I moved the rook up to d3 and the move was g4 in the game. My bad, my bad. See, those were some of my chess club colleagues, my buds, and thank you for pointing that out. I did blow that. I would have gave myself a heck of an end game to worry about, man. Okay, I got a game. I mean, baby, I've got a game. I'm not kidding. This now this was a 20-year-old Emanuel Lasker. His older brother taught him chess. He was the longest, 27 years, longest chess champion in history so far. But we do have Magnus Carlsen if he hangs on for another, till he's about 70. I've got a game by Emanuel Lasker in his first tournament. His first chess tournament. Watch what this kid does. 20-year-old. He's playing white. This was in Amsterdam in 1889, and he plays the bird opening. I'm not sure if I have ever shown the bird opening, so this will be fun. Starts out with F4, and you go, okay, Shazam! No, you don't do Shazam yet, but we will. And his opponent is Jay Bauer. Now he does an E3 and knight F6 and B3. Oh, I got this out of Garry Kasparov, my great predecessors. This is volume 1. He calls it part 1. This is a breathtakingly spectacular series of books, all about the former grandmasters in chess, all computer analyzed by 2 different computers. I believe it's Fritz and one of the other ones. Just fabulous stuff. Instead of this, Kasparov says, look, knight F3 would prevent D4, would prevent him coming to here. So that probably would have been better, but we are talking about a 20-year-old Lasker in 1889 before Garry Kasparov was a twinkle in his mama's eye, and so this is going to make this a very interesting chess game. Bishop B2, of course, if you're gonna push the knight pawn, you fianchetto the bishop, and he goes bishop E7. Nothing major yet. Bishop D3, and you go, huh? Bishop D3? Yeah. Really, you don't see this today. We are talking well over 100 years ago. This just putting your pieces in front of your pawns really hinders, and it's a central pawn to boot. It really hinders your ability to, if not outright possess, to at least control the center in a stronger way than you normally could. This is just truly not recommended. Watch how long he leaves that bishop there, yet watch how well he controls his center anyway. I think this is one of the coolest illustrations of this. I'm personally never going to try this. You guys would just you trounce me as it is. You would really clobber me with this. I'm not going to do this, but just observe as we play along. Every now and then I'll hint, hey, the bishop's still there. This is remarkable. And now he does do F3 with the knight. And the bishop B7, so they've both fianchettoed. And Kasparov said, bishop A6 might have been interesting. Could have led to some interesting things, huh? Just pointing out a couple items. Kasparov's computer analysis goes through like 16 moves potential possibilities after every single move. And there is no way. It would take me 8 hours just to show you all the variations in this game. I'm going to show you the cream of the crop with a few minor ideas. Right? Get Kasparov's book. You won't regret it. It's delightful. And now knight c3. Notice his control of the center. Now, granted, Bauer doesn't necessarily really strongly argue with him on the center. So I mean, today they would never let him get away with putting that bishop on d3. That just wouldn't happen. No way, no how. So they've both got things castled now. And now he brings the knight to e2, and he's popping c5 because of the bishop of white, because of Lasker's bishop. If Bauer wants, he could do some interesting stuff here in the center if he goes that direction. And okay, now we've seen he's done a knight journey all the way across. Okay, just recognize that. And he's still got a somewhat, it is in the opening, true. He's got decent control of the center. Black's got decent control of the center. They both have decent development. White has moved a piece a couple of times. Can Black take advantage of that? He's connected his rooks. His queen is out now. Another idea that Gary says, or Kasparov, I shouldn't call him Gary, that would have been, it would have made it more interesting, but it would have hit the center and directly began a confrontation before Lasker could have used his pawns better. Maybe that's why Kasparov is pointing that out. Could be. As it is, he did move the queen to c7. And now knight e5. So he's jumping on the center. Notice with his knights, his bishop's still here. You're not going to see this today. That just won't work. No. Let's see, knight e5. And then his knight takes the knight. And Lasker uses his bishop to take the knight. Get rid of the central knight. Queen comes to c6. Of course, he can't take the bishop. Here, Black is looking now at pushing that pawn. This could demonstrate to Lasker the problem of putting his bishop in front of his pawn, because that could lead to some cool things for Black. So Black is eyeing this, is what Kasparov thinks. That's why he put his queen where he put his queen. So now what's Lasker going to do? I mean, he is 20, but he's really strong already. Really. And so what do you do? He goes to queen e2. Very cool, very cool. a6, and Lasker gives him a direct question mark. What Black is fearing is the bishop to here. So that's why he pushed the a pawn. Again, it doesn't have a lot to do with the center, you know. But that's what happened. Wasn't the best move. And why? Can you see what Lasker, the young Lasker, is going to do now? Take a look at that. I'll bet you chocolate chip cookie you don't see his next move. I'll give you a hint, it's neither one of his rooks. I'll give you another hint, it's neither one of his bishops either. And I'll give you another hint, it's none of his pawns. So, you're right! King to h1! No. But he does put knight at h5. Now just Take a gander. What is your opponent who does something like this in a game with you tell you? Not verbally either. This is a kingside attack. There's the opening shot. And you go, really? Yes. Sincerely, really. This is a kingside. And Lasker's going to go full tilt at it. Non-stop. It's his very first tournament ever. And it's an international tournament. Yeah, I believe it was. The first one he was ever invited to was an international tournament. And he's playing like this. It's pretty impressive. Well, the knight takes the knight and you go, well, yeah, that was a... Go, kiddo, that was a great kingside. Ooh. Hold on, he's not done. He's not done. Come on. Blap. Bishop takes 8-7. And you're asking, oh, okay, hold it. Hold it. Why don't you just take the knight? I mean, what? No, that's the wrong move. If you did see that and thought, gosh, that was stupid of him to sacrifice his bishop when he could have got a knight, what would the next move have been? And then the king side's over. And black is really somewhat well placed. It looks like a Dutch if he gets that pawn up there, doesn't it? So Lasker does not want to take that knight. That does everything for black. So Lasker correctly goes check. Let's crack the king side open. Okay? King takes the bishop. So there's your bishop sacrifice, and here comes your king side. Now you can take the knight and go check. So it really is, as we're playing a game, it really is important to try to see, okay, if I do this move first, ooh, he can respond that way. So, oh, but if I do this first, and then he responds, and then I can do that. Move order sometimes is pretty cotton picking important. Again, one of the many billions of items that we have to keep in mind. And that comes with practice. That's why we love making videos and love watching videos, yeah? Well, so king goes back to g8. Okay, no harm, no foul. So what? What is the big deal? Classic Lasker. And it began at the very start of his career, and it just moved on through for 27 years. This is what he became feared for. The double bishop sacrifice. Bishop takes g7. And you go, really? That's pretty gutsy. Yeah. Watch him roll. King takes g7. You go, well, all right, but truly, he doesn't have a whole lot left already, and so what do you mean watch him roll? Just watch the master at work. Realize, in a double bishop sacrifice, realize that your queen, it would be ideal if your queen can now dominate. Let's see you put the lady to work, and let's learn and be instructed on just how powerful a queen can be. I present you Emanuel Lasker. His queen just rocks from here out. Watch what this man does with this lady. It is poetry in motion. However, he doesn't do it alone. Can't be a one-piece kingside attack, can it? Those never work. Not just a one side. Get the rest of what you have, because, quite frankly, you just threw 2 pieces out for 2 pawns. You did put that king out there, though, but gotta have everything now because you're way down material. E5, here comes those center pawns, and you really have to be careful with them. He's going to go ahead and position. Sorry. Oh, heartburn. Rook h3 check, and now... So, this gets interesting. Lasker is genuinely down material, man. But he does force black to lose his queen. Of course, he will go check. And yes, the king takes the rook. You really are down material now. So you can't afford to not use anything. What makes this so striking is how wonderful this queen becomes. What a beautiful fork on the bishops. So, yes, you are behind, but with the most powerful piece well used, you can catch up. And the classic double bishop sacrifice was spectacular enough. Actually, him actually not getting clobbered in the center, putting that bishop on d3 was actually kind of cool to see. You really can maintain the center. Only, however, though, because I don't think Bauer really went for the center. I'm not sure they emphasized that hard that early in the 1880s and 90s and on up to 1900. So that kind of helped Lasker out, right? However, from here out, it is just vintage Lasker. It's all vintage Lasker. But wow, what a game. And then, of course, take the bishop. So you're catching up, which is wonderful. You better put your king back here now. You don't want him, and sure enough, the next best thing he does, okay, he got a power, now let's bring out the rest and consolidate and make sure I can beat this guy. Technically, he's still down in power, but look at his pawn structure. That is a winning endgame right there. Take all the pieces off and you've got it. So that's what Lasker has to do. Just get to the endgame safely. Yeah. Yeah, just imagine, no pieces, just pawns. White can win this. Interesting, isn't it? Go ahead. Set it up and play through it and see if you can bust a pawn in. I bet you can. I couldn't, but you guys can. So rook A to B8, right? Don't let the queen stay there. Now, I, like the complete amateur that I am, I would have taken the pawn. Lasker went to here. This is another great little lesson. Hold it. Lasker did not go after material at this point. Why? We need everybody in the game. Centralizes the queen by putting her back at d7. And he doesn't put her way off on the edge where she can't get back in very easy. So that's kind of cool to know. Really. That was surprising to me, and yet I saw the logic once I saw the game a few times. I said, right. Yes. And he will continue chasing the queen, and now the queen comes to g4 check. Isn't that a much better area than queen over here? I personally think so. I like that because his pawns are still intact. It would be best to support the pawns with your pieces instead of having a piece over here uncoordinated and a piece down here unused and him having 3 pieces. I think that was kind of the the thinking of Lasker. Because this really is a better view at the king. He can keep this thing in check now. Out here, over here, yeah, you got a pawn, but what price would that have been? We will never know. But it would have been a steep one, is my suspicion. And now look, he can start carefully, systematically eliminating pawns. Bishop to g7, and now pushing the issue. That's a passed pawn, right? Rook b7, here comes the rook, and that's a good move. And now queen to g6. Take a look at that. What a great little move. This Lasker kid acts like he knows what he's doing. So, he does go f6. And now, of course, rook will take f6 check. And you go, what do you mean, of course? I didn't calculate it out. But now that I've played it, yeah, it's of course. That's why it's so fun to study chess. Even the old games of the former world champions are extremely valuable. They have all kinds of crap they can teach us. That is what makes chess so fun, right? Really. You say, well, gosh, bishop takes. He lost the exchange. At this juncture, what he did is, check, he lost the exchange, but he gains the endgame if he plays this right. Notice his rooks are not connected. So there's tactics involved. Again, here we get to see the real beauty of the power of the queen. Okay? This is quite cool how this works. King e8. Queen h8 check. King e7. Queen g7 check. King takes e6. He probably expected that, truly. Nice, huh? Play through this a few times and see how Lasker did that. He literally forced him to give him a rook because they weren't on the same aisle. And now it's game over. Right? I mean, there's no way. Isn't that fascinating? He was down 2 pieces because he sacrificed his bishops and because he kept his cool head. And in my suspicion is because he kept this little lady over here with that king instead of going pawn hunting here much. I think that's what gave it to him. Besides the fact that he was one heck of a good chess player. Yeah. So rook d6 here, protect the pawn. But he still gets another pawn. And now it's game over. He's got this. If he plays it right, d4, e takes d4, and c will take d4. And now h4. Yep. Yep, here comes the cavalry. Here comes the backup. d3, and queen will take d3. What a great finish. And black resigned at that point. He said, oh, I ain't got a chance. No way. Pawns on both sides with just kings. It's not... Okay. Okay. You say, yeah, that was dumb. Was it? Because now how is the king going to stop you? It can't be stopped. You can't lose. If you play this, you can't lose. So anyway, there is the great Emanuel Lasker. So someone recommended that I show more of Lasker's games, and I do believe I will. The games I have several books of chess collection games, you know. So many times in the older collections, the Lasker games are just staggeringly good. I'm kind of surprised I haven't shown more of him, and I will. It was no fluke. He simply worked on every facet of chess. So he was great, and it's our fortune that he was so great because now we can learn from him. So there is your chess game for the day. You guys are awesome. I'm not even kidding. It's snowing like crazy, so I'm going to be doing some plowing and shoveling tomorrow. So I wanted to make another video for you for this Christmas season. I'm going to try to give you as many videos as I possibly can. Hopefully I can make a few of them tomorrow. That might be kind of fun. Maybe I'll go take some video of the snow at the river. It's beautiful out there. You'll like it. It's quite a lovely area. So, okay, thanks. Be good. Do well. Have fun. Be nice. Be happy. Laugh. Be funny. Make others smile. Do something nice. It is the Christmas season. Let's kind of put some oomph into that. Give a little bit of ourselves, whether it's our time, our talent, or our money, and let's help everyone have a nice holiday around the world. And in the meantime, get plenty of rest because there's a lot more chess games you guys have to watch because I'm going to keep on kicking these babies out. Woohoo! Yeah, baby. All right, I will see you in the next Backyard Professor Chess video.